Hey guys, this week we've been talking about Essay 1 and choosing your topic, and you have a topic check due this week. Something that I wanted to mention to you was that you really need to focus that topic. You can't just choose one of those topic choices and leave it as is. They're all way too broad. You have to realize that I'm only asking you for a maximum of 3.5 pages, so you can't get enough substance in a topic as large as all of those choices in 3.5 pages. So you have to narrow it down. I know that's not the easiest thing, so I wanted to make you a little video just to help you out. I'm going to go through one of the topics and narrow it down into something that is more manageable. So I've chosen the cursive topic to work with today. And the first thing obviously you have to do is kind of brainstorm. So I've done some brainstorming. I needed to decide what side I was on this topic. So I chose it's important or it's not important, and I'm just going to make a simple T-chart just to see what side I'm on. So I've kind of prepared this already so that you don't have to hear my thinking. So one of the things on the important side, cursive is important for cognitive development. It's also maybe important for hand-eye coordination. It's also important for making a signature. And maybe it's important to learn better. So some of these things I came up with on my own, like hand-eye coordination, that's just something I knew. Cognitive development was in the prompt itself. Making a signature is something I kind of thought of, and then learning better from handwriting things, that's something that I Googled around a little bit, and that's something that somebody said. So those are some of the reasons that are important. If I had had more time, I could maybe make a more robust list, and that's not a bad idea, but in the time constraints we've got, that's what we've got so far. And on the not important side, cursive isn't important. There are other more useful ways to stretch the brain. Other ways to promote hand-eye coordination, which clearly I need because it's hard to type and talk at the same time. This is something I found online, that handwriting in any way, whether you're printing or blocking or using calligraphy or whatever, is just as good as cursive at that cognitive development. Something that I've always thought is that typing and learning how to type is much more functional in today's world. We're so less likely to use cursive than to be able to type. And finally, there are just so many more things to teach that are more beneficial to students. So I had a feeling that I was on the not important side, but this really tells me that I have more things on the not important side. And even as I went into some of these more not important stuff, I started having details. So like, there are hand-eye coordination things that help you stretch the brain. There's critical thinking. There are things like unstructured play. I had for this one, I even had some more stuff. And for this one, I had some extras too. So as you can see, clearly I have more to say on the not important side. So that means that I'm going to go with not important. Cursive is not important to teach in today's digital age. So that's kind of my base. Okay, so I know what side I'm on, but this is huge, obviously, because I've got all these things that are not important. I could write a whole book on why cursive is not important, and I've only got 3.5 pages. So if I were to stay at cursive is not important to teach in today's digital age, I'd have a very superficial paper. I want you to have a really in-depth paper, so you can't stop here. So you probably want to start with just one of these. So I was thinking about which one, and I had thought about this one and this one. Those were the two that I really felt the most strongly about, but I'm going to choose just one because I want my paper to be that in-depth. So this one obviously is the one that I have the most to say about, and I could get a good paper about that, but I was also weighing which one is more of a unique discussion point. So I think that this could get really into some kind of overused, overworked, what's wrong with education today sort of arguments. I don't want to go down that road that's been done before. So ultimately I decided to choose this one. There are other more useful ways to stretch the brain. So this is going to turn into a topic. So cursive is not important to teach in the digital age. Why? Because there are other more useful ways to stretch the brain. So this helps. This gives me a lot. This allows me a much narrower, this maybe takes me from a book to a chapter, but still you only have 3.5 pages, so even this is too much. So in addition to the why, now's the time to break out those who, what, where, when. Those questions will help you narrow this down now. So I've got a why, and everybody should have a why. That's very important. You have to answer why. But now you maybe want to choose 2 more of these, the who, what, where, and the when. So fill them all out, but then see which ones fit most nicely into a topic. So who? I'm thinking cursive is usually taught right around 2nd and 3rd grade. So I'm choosing elementary school kids, probably right around that 3rd grade. What? We've got that already, teaching them cursive or teaching them other ways to stretch their brain. So maybe that's not one. Where? You could answer this one maybe in the United States or even in Illinois. When? We're thinking already in today's digital age, so maybe 21st century. Students. So now maybe let's move on to how. I already have some of the how built into my brainstorming, so maybe this is a really good one to use. So we've got our why, we've got a who, what didn't really work out, where, and when. So I really want to use the how. I think those are going to become my main points, so I'm really going to keep those. We need the why. Everybody has to have a why, so choose why, have a good why. Now we've got who, where, and when. And you want to just choose one more. You don't want to junk it up too much by having all of them in there. Probably just want to choose one more. I'm going to make sure we're talking about elementary school kids because that makes the most sense. So in the United States, that's something that probably, if the author is in the United States, you know that already. 21st century students, well, we say today's digital age, so you don't need to repeat that. These are my three. So now I've got a narrow focus topic. I'm really having trouble typing the word coordination. All right, so we've taken this from this great big topic, done lots of brainstorming, figured out what side I was on, but still too broad of a topic, did the who, what, where, when, how, why, how, always chose the why because that gives our reasoning, chose two others that made sense, came up with one strong, narrow topic. Notice too that this topic maybe could turn into a rough draft of a thesis statement because it's already kind of broadcasting my purpose and my opinion. So I hope that that helps. Please use something like this to make sure that you're taking your topic from the very broad kind of prompt that you're using. Do some brainstorming, find your side, and then really narrow and focus that topic down to something that's more like this. Hope that that helps. If not, let me know. You can always email me or stop by and ask me any questions. Have a good one.